We like our heroes unbothered. The classic myth is the warrior who stares down certain death with a calm, steely gaze and absolutely zero fear. But history tells a complicated story. Just outside ancient Jerusalem lies the Mount of Olives. It's a steep, rocky terrain dotted with ancient olive groves. The human mind struggles immensely with the absolute certainty of pain. Imagine knowing the exact sequence of events coming your way, the arrest, the trial, the nails, and having to sit in the dark and wait for the sun to rise. The greatest battle of the crucifixion happened hours before anyone laid a hand on him. It was fought entirely in his own mind. The physical environment of Gethsemane is oppressive. These are massive, twisted trunks of ancient olive wood that cast long, confusing shadows in the moonlight. Walking into that grove, Jesus turns to his closest friends and makes a terrifying admission. He tells them his soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. We are used to thinking of religious figures as untouchable, floating above the fray. But here is a man completely exposed, crushed by the exact same paralyzing dread anyone would feel facing an execution. Experiencing profound, crippling fear when looking at the end of your life is a biological reality. It is the purest mark of humanity, not a failure of faith. He tries to lean on his support system. He asks his inner circle, Peter, James, and John, for the bare minimum. Just stay awake. Be here with me. But eventually, he has to pull away. He walks deeper into the dark, completely alone, and collapses face down in the soil. For hours, he is engaged in an active, desperate physical plea, and every time he returns to his friends seeking a moment of comfort, he finds them asleep. The contrast is devastating. Community is vital for survival, but there is a threshold where community ends. The heaviest existential burdens you carry cannot be transferred to anyone else. Down in the dirt, the prayer is raw. He is begging his Father for an alternate path. He asks explicitly if there is any way this cup can pass from him. The stress of this moment reaches such an extreme peak that it triggers a documented clinical medical phenomenon known as hematodihidrosis. During a severe panic state, extreme psychological stress causes tiny capillaries feeding the sweat glands to physically rupture under immense pressure. That internal bleeding mixes with perspiration and is forced out through the pores onto the surface of the skin. Sweating blood is the ultimate biological proof of a human mind driven to the absolute edge of its functional limit without breaking. The defining moment of this story is not when the soldiers arrive with torches. The climax happens in the silence, in the dirt, before anyone else shows up. He doesn't pray until the terrifying reality vanishes. He prays until his own internal will aligns to face it. The circumstances outside haven't changed. The man inside has. The desperate pleading finally stops. He wipes his face, pushes himself up out of the dust, and stands. He walks back to his sleeping friends one last time, and the energy is entirely different. The panic is gone, replaced by a quiet, firm authority. Rise, let us go. True resolve is never the absence of fear. Resolve is the agonizing, conscious decision to stop fighting reality, look directly at the fire, and step into it. Thousands of years later, you might be sitting in a garden of your own, maybe a hospital waiting room, a dark bedroom at 3 a.m., or an empty parked car. When you are staring down a terrifying diagnosis, a financial collapse, or a profound loss, the instinct to beg for a way out is a completely natural, shared human experience. Struggling, crying, or feeling entirely overwhelmed by what is coming does not mean you are weak. You are in very good company in the dark. Strength is simply feeling the crushing weight of reality, letting it drive you to your knees, and then choosing to stand up anyway.